right, so we kick off today welcoming Elena Martinez, co-artistic director of the Bronx Music Heritage Center, which was founded in 2010, and it aims to preserve and promote Bronx music, cultivate local artists, and provide low-cost cultural programs for the community in its permanent home, the Bronx Music Hall, a vibrant performance venue and community cultural destination dedicated to honoring, showcasing, and cultivating music, dance, theater, and interdisciplinary arts in the Bronx. And here to share more, please welcome Bronx Music Heritage Center's co-artistic director, Elena Martinez. Hello.
Hi, good morning, Rhina.
Good morning and welcome back. I mean, we've had you on numerous occasions, but this is the first time we've had you on since you've moved into your new home.
Yes, yes.
And you've been there almost a year now, no?
Well, October. We had our grand opening in October, but during the pandemic, when it was still in construction, we had outdoor spaces. We have outdoor spaces, so we did programming during the pandemic in the plazas and the amphitheater, which was great to have that space. So we could do things live, but now with the whole theater completely open, October, we've officially opened.
Well, congratulations on that. So let's just share with our audience so that they understand the dynamics between the Bronx Music Heritage Center, the Bronx Music Hall, and also you as a folklorist, because you curate with that also being in the forefront. Mm-hmm. So let's start with the Bronx Music Heritage Center first, because I remember you were doing pop-ups and then you had like a temporary space. So let's talk about that first.
Well, our temporary space, because of the way building goes in New York City, was 10 years, I think 10 or 12 years in the small storefront space. And one of WEDCO, Women's Housing and Economic Development Corporation's, one of their buildings, their affordable housing buildings. And we had that storefront space for about 10 or 12 years. Been a while. While we were waiting for the finish.
I know, we've been losing track of time.
Especially since the pandemic. So waiting for the finish of the construction of the Bronx Music Hall. So we were the Bronx Music Heritage Center. That's the organization, the WEDCO's. WEDCO wanted to have a cultural arm, and that's their cultural arm. So, but the Bronx Music Hall is the venue itself, is the theater. It's a 250-seat theater. It's a beautiful dance studio. It's an exhibit space. It's outdoor spaces for performances, and that was finally completed last fall, and we opened then.
Right, and you also are co-artistic director with Bobby Sanabria.
Yes, and many people know Bobby Sanabria. He's a great, incredible jazz musician. He's a DJ on WBGO. He's a great educator, and he and I are both the artistic directors there.
And he's a multi-Grammy nominee.
Yes.
multi, right? How many Grammy nominees?
Nine. Yeah.
Yes, right. And he's a maestro, right? And so, meaning he really loves educating, and we love that about him. And so, all right. So, since you've opened up at Bronx Music Hall, has the programming shifted? Has it expanded? Like, talk to us about it, because I've seen a lot of different types of programming. I think you've got comedy in there now. Like, you've really diversified it. So how are you doing that? How are you choosing what to present?
So we had a lot of these programs before the pandemic, but then the pandemic came and we kept some things on, like we did some things online, but it was really hard to do some music online. As you know, live streaming was okay. Zoom, you could not do music programs over. So then we made sure we tried to do more comedy,
right.
Have comedy, but spoken word, we have poetry, but we always had that before the pandemic, but we're trying to bring all that back now. We're trying to bring all those programs back, little by little, get them going. Our comedy show, it's not just comedy. We like to see it as like we integrate dance, music, magic. We've had magicians on with the comedy, just a sort of, almost like a vaudeville type show. We have an open mic, a long-running open mic, spoken word open mic going on for a while. But of course, music is our main emphasis, and we have a bunch of different programs: Bronx Rising, Nuevas Voces, that try to bring different music.
Right, and so you say music is the strong arm of the actual presentations. But what I find for me most intriguing and most fascinating about you in the way you curate is that you really take the time to introduce I say cultures or even historical factors within the cultures, within the presentations, which I think is so important for us to really just be curious about, especially the climate we're living in right now. We really need to understand that we're more alike than we are different.
Well, for me, making all those connections and bringing, whether it's historical themes or just connecting different communities together is really important, because I'm not an artist. I get to work with all kinds of incredible artists, dancers, poets, musicians, but I'm not an artist. My sort of artistic creativity comes in where I get to curate, kind of put together, create a show that has all these connections, and to me that's what I like to do. So that's where the artistic side comes out. And I am a folklorist, as you mentioned, trained as a folklorist. I still work at City Lore downtown as well, and so that sort of affects a lot of the work that we bring in. We work with a lot of traditional artists, traditional communities, whether it's bomba from the Puerto Rican community. We work a lot with the Bengali community, with different African communities here in the Bronx, Garifuna. So that my work kind of is in that. So that kind of shows in sort of like the repertoire of artists that we have there.
And so how does that loan itself to audiences, right? When I don't know how you track your audience, do you do surveys, or how are you able to bring these different cultures together to be interested in each other?
Well, I think, like you said, I think there are a lot of connections. There are a lot of connections there already. One of our, which actually we haven't brought back since, it'll be this year for the first time. We always did a Puerto Rican Garifuna event for years and years before the pandemic. And that was because I remember when I was first introduced to some of the Garifuna musicians and people in the community, Bobby and I went to an Ostel show where they had a big Garifuna concert, and we're listening to it, and Bobby's like, that rhythm they're playing right now is completely one of our bomba rhythms. So we're like, oh, those connections are there. So every holiday season we have a Puerto Rican and Garifuna event together, and everyone just sort of took to it naturally. It's called Parando con Paranda, and we'll do it this December again. But and I think all the musicians, I think it's always a joyous event. I think people love coming together and sharing the different things, whether it's dance, whether it's rhythms that we have in common.
Right, and just because you mentioned bomba and Garifuna, right? So I assume we're talking punta, right? And so that's the drums, right? And even though it's a different movement, it's a language. I'm a drum lover, and obviously, Bobby is a professional percussionist, a master percussionist. So of course he's going to love both of them in the same space. However, I'm saying as far as curating it, right? I'm like, of course he would.
Yeah, there's a lot of drums. There's a lot of drum-based stuff in our programming. You'll see.
Yeah, which I love, which is lovely, which is its own language, as well as it's a different energy that we're transmitting, and there's that unifying movement of really, I want to say, using the hips.
The African diaspora is so all through the Bronx in so many ways, in all the different communities. So yeah, that we can bring all that to the space. So
you continue to curate all these amazing events on a regular basis. So how frequently are you curating? And I know we have some events that you can share with our viewers as well, but just because now it's coming into summer and you also have an outdoor venue, so what does that look like? But first I want to know how often you're curating.
Well, actually, this summer we're going to slow down a little bit because we had a really busy season, the grand opening, and through the spring it's been really busy. So we're going to slow down a little bit over the summer. We will have programs, slow down a little bit, but then we have a really busy fall coming up as well. But we have a lot of monthly events. We have the open mic, the comedy, Nuevas Voces, which is a jazz series, the Bronx Rising, which we've done forever. All those are monthly series, so we'll always have them, be doing them, and then try to, and we work with a lot of community partners, a lot of other organizations in the Bronx. So so that adds to some, to some other programming as well.
The collaborations that you do, right? And then I understand that you're now going to have these classes. Maestro is going to be having these classes. Is that going to be for the summer, or are you auditioning now for the fall?
Well, we have a lot of music classes. We have guitar, conga, piano, bomba dance classes, salsa for seniors, Mexican regional folk dance. We have all those spring, summer, fall sessions all the time. But Bobby's going to be putting together a Latin jazz ensemble of youth, teenagers, age 14 to 18. That'll be for the school year. So we are putting the information out now. Take auditions over the summer, and hopefully he can get that ensemble together.
And the age range is from
14 to 18.
14 to 18.
Because he's not only is he a master musician, but he's a world-renowned educator. He's been Jazz Education Network has awarded him as an educator, so we want to bring that to the space as well.
Right, and pass it on to the next generation. Yeah, it's lovely. So what do we have coming up?
So coming up, we actually I think we have we had shown you some information about our happy hour. We're trying this. This is sort of a new thing for us.
With the Uptown Vinyl Supreme.
Uptown Vinyl Supreme is an incredible DJ collective, and everyone I think is a fan of theirs in the Bronx. And
yes.
That's really not our thing. We're really more of live music, but we know they're just a great. Each of those different DJs brings something different to how they spin, and so we just want to have an event that we can kind of have people come in, chill out a little bit, have a drink, listen to some music. So we'll see how that goes. That's sort of a new thing, and we'll see if it goes well.
I think it's lovely that you're allowing yourself to be open. With explorations,
But they're just so amazing to work with. So we're happy to have them. And then I think the Nuevas Voces is our Nuevas Voces, new voices in Latin jazz, emerging voices in Latin jazz. And the reason we do that is because Bobby comes from the Afro-Cuban side that people know him for, even though he does a lot of other things. But and everyone, when they think of Latin music and Latin jazz, it's really Cuban music, what people think of when they think of mambo, salsa. But in our changing demographics in our city, the Latino community is represented by so many different communities. And there's Peruvian jazz, there's Dominican jazz, there's Colombian jazz. So that Nuevas Voces is a space where we can bring in musicians from different communities to perform. And this summer, we're kind of having a string of South American sort of jazz. So we just had an Afro-Uruguayan jazz, which was incredible. They're just the candombe drums are just incredible from Uruguay. And then we're going to have Brazilian jazz with Mafalda in July, and then we're going to have Colombian jazz with Martin Bejarano in August. So all that should be up on our website already for buying tickets.
Yeah, so. This is what I mean. Like it's all, it's unique. It's unique, especially being accessible here in the Bronx, right? So a lot of the cultural programming like that, everybody, at least myself, once automatically assumes like we have to go downtown to experience it, but it's right here.
No, I think that's really important. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think people should just be isolated in their communities. You should check out what's in Brooklyn and Manhattan. But I think we, as a borough, have an incredible legacy of arts. We have an incredible community of arts now, and we don't. Why should we always have to go down, go an hour downtown? We have incredible arts organizations, arts venues, and artists here in our borough. So.
Right, that live here, that are part of here, that are part of our history, and also, it's a lot more convenient. Like, you don't have to pay for the tolls or whatever.
Congestion pressure, yeah.
just saying. But so before we go, let's just talk a little bit about the play, Bet or Sty.
Oh, Sty or Die.
Sty or Die. I'm like, Bet or Sty. You said Bet, Sty. Se me pegó.
But actually, that's one of those kind of collaborations with community. I work a lot with BAFA, Bangladesh Academy of Fine Arts, and they referred this group to us who have this play, and it's written by Jason Wang, and we're doing this play for Asian American Pacific Islander Month, which is this month. So it'll be the last one of the last days of in June, and it's a play for middle school, high school kids to just about testing and all the pressures of high school that they have to go through. So we're hoping we get really a family audience and bring their students to watch this play. And also it's on Sundays. We have a thing, not every Sunday, but we have something called Sunday Salons where we do free programming for the community. It could be a play, it could be music, it could be a presentation, or a film screening. But we try to have our Sunday Salons to do something for families and the community in general for free.
And so, how does that work? Though, is that when you say community programming? Is that for submissions as well? Like, how does that work?
Well, people always are contacting me. So yes, if people want to contact me and they have something that I was like, oh, well, that's part of our mission, or that's it's something we're interested in, or it works, the community, it's relevant to the community. We always, are willing to work with artists who contact us and organizations who reach out to us. We try. We can't do everything, but if we feel that it's something that could be part of the shared vision, for the community, we're happy
So
to.
is the Sunday Salon also a monthly series?
It's a couple times a month, depending on. It's not like it's a third Sunday of every month. It's just like whenever we can do things. But maybe once or twice a month we'll have Sunday Salons.
That's beautiful, and it's open to all genres of the arts.
Yes. Yep.
Amazing. Good stuff, Elena. Is there anything we didn't touch upon?
No. Well, I think. Wow, there's a lot going on. Just go to our website and all the information's there. We also rent the space out to people as well for rentals and stuff. And again, it's a beautiful theater. It's a beautiful dance studio, which I'm really excited because we work with so many different dance ensembles. It's an incredible state-of-the-art dance studio and theater. So.
I know it really is. It's very Cachet. It is, and it's right here in the Bronx, mi gente. All right, once again, Elena Martinez, thank you so much, co-artistic director of the Bronx Music Heritage Center. And once again, be sure to check out these exciting events happening all at the Bronx Music Hall. Once again, June 27th, be sure to check out Friday Night Happy Hour with Uptown Vinyl Supreme. That's taking place from 6 to 8 p.m. And then on June 29th, the Stye or Die play about the pressures of high school in honor of Asian American Pacific Islander Month, right? And that's taking place from 3 to 5 p.m. And finally, on July 10th, Nueva Voces, Miu Rio, featuring Mafalda Minozzi, a night of Brazilian jazz. That's taking place at 8 p.m. And once again, all this is happening at the Bronx Music Hall, which is located at 438 East 163rd Street. And for more on all of these events and classes, be sure to visit bronxmusichall.org. All right, stay tuned. There's more open when we return.